Hey, last night was the Ultimate Fighter 7 finale, and I watched it, really good. And I went 7 out of 10 on predictions, which is pretty good. I like that. That's batting 700. And you say, well, there were 11 fights scheduled, but they canceled Tim Credeur versus Kel Yarbrough because Tim Credeur took this medication for his ADHD, and it had a steroid in it. And he told them before they took the drug test that he took it, and he didn't know it was against the rules. But that's kind of stupid. Hopefully he can wing himself off the medication and fight in the future for the UFC. It's kind of sucks that he threw away that chance. Well, let's get right into my picks and what happened. Rob Kimmins came in for me, beat ass, won. Not in the first round like I wanted, but he won in the second round by submission. Matthew Riddle won for me again. Good stuff. That was kind of a boring fight, though. Most of it was up against the cage with Rivera trying to get him down, and Matthew had some good spots in that fight. He threw up some good submissions, and he had top control. He had full mount for a while, just landing down bombs. So Matthew deserved that fight. The only thing really that Dante did the whole match was he tried to go for a go-go at one point, or go-go plata. He was pulling his foot in front of Matthew's face, but I mean it was really telegraphed, and Matthew could see that coming a mile away. So he needs to work on his rubber guard because he wasn't really loose enough to pull it off. Matt Brown beat Matt Arroyo. I'm glad. I want Matt Brown to continue working on his sub-defense and growing the sport at 170. He's going to be tough to beat. Dustin Hazlett, he upset me here. He beat Josh Berkman and proved that he's on that upper echelon of fighters. So, yeah, Josh Berkman's right now, he's kind of like a gatekeeper. I'm not even sure how safe his job in the UFC is right now. He may be gone for a while. Rack up some wins on the lower shows. But Dustin Hazlett, he's here to stay, and he's a force. Alright, his last loss was to Koscheck, and this win is against Berkman. So he's kind of between that situation, and hopefully he can grow and do better. I like to call him Skinny John Fitch, the skinnier version. Jeremy Horn let me down. He lost to Dean Lister, and that was, I don't know how the fight went. They didn't show it, but I'm just looking at the results. It was another submission. Horn seems to know how to do submissions, but he has trouble defending the submissions. So the thing that makes him such a great fighter is also his greatest downfall, which is sad. Props to Dean Lister for not choking. He did good. Alright, they showed this one at the very end of the telecast. Marvin Eastman versus Drew McFreedy's. McFreedy's won in awesome fashion. First, he comes out with this huge knee, but then Marvin kind of catches it and puts him down in a takedown. And you're like, oh, okay. Maybe that didn't affect Marvin as much. But then Marvin stood up and Drew just unloaded on him. Shot after shot, unanswered. He just ran in the ring, ran around the whole octagon with them backpedaling and him just throwing shots. I think at one point Marvin went for another takedown, and Drew, it was a weird shot. He just hit him on the jaw from the side, and Marvin just headed down, just nosedived to the ground, and then Drew hit a few more shots, and he had it. Good to see him back. He's had a tough year. I think his mother died, and he explained that had a lot to do with the Cote loss. So hopefully he's back and well mind, and he can make a good run in the middleweight division. Spencer Fisher versus Jeremy Stevens. We saw that tonight. Very good match. Very good TV match. I'm glad they showed it. I'm glad it made the main card. Spencer Fisher was crazy this whole match. He was just throwing everything he had at Stevens, and he won the first 2 rounds because of it. He talked about it later, but he was using this spinning elbow, which was awesome. He said he learned it from Jeremy Horn. But it was awesome to see, because I mean, right when you think, all right, Stevens is all right now, he can't get hit, then bam, elbow, ouch. Stevens did real good too. He was very active on the guard, always moving, always adjusting, so that Fisher couldn't get side control or couldn't get full mount. He always kept him away from those, or if he got him, he would get him out, go back to half guard, then go back to full guard. At the very end, I mean, if this was a longer match, Stevens could have pulled it off, because at the very end, Stevens got him in a guillotine choke that if the clock didn't run out, he would have probably passed out. I don't think Fisher would have tapped. But Stevens looked good near the end, but he lost. He ended up losing, and Spencer won, which was deserved. And this was after a motorcycle accident Spencer was in. His knees were scratched up. He has marks on his arms. So he was bleeding fast in this fight, but he did good. Diego Sanchez versus Luigi Forvanti. I know I'm saying that wrong. It must be. Good match. It was like, a lot of it wasn't really action-packed. It was like they stood off for a while, then all of a sudden they would meet in these flurries, and all of a sudden they'd separate again. So, I mean, that's the best way I could describe it. And it was kind of like, you know, controlled chaos. But Luigi blocked a lot and stuffed a lot of takedowns from Diego, and he looked good. But the biggest thing here, the biggest factor, was Diego had better stand-up than Luigi, which no one expected. Diego's he's a ground and pound wrestler, and here he is outstriking a striker, and it was awesome. I'm glad Diego, added that to his game, because that's real important. At the very end of the third round, they said judge's decision. No, I said judge's decision. Sorry. No, they got it right. Yeah, third round, he hits a leg kick on Luigi. Luigi falters and starts backpedaling, falling to the ground. Diego jumps on him, hits a bunch of shots. Luigi never actually went out, but he was getting flurried. So, I mean, you have to stop it at some point, because all those were unanswered. And I'm going to go ahead and do this match next, even though it's out of sequence. But Kendall Grove versus Evan Tanner, really sad match. Evan just doesn't have it anymore in that match. Maybe he could come back. I'm doubtful. But I'm always hopeful for Evan, because I love him. And he had an awesome beard going on. I wish I could grow a beard like Evan had tonight. He looked like Paul freaking Bunyan. And Kendall looked good. He hit knees like crazy. Evan was always trying to get him down. He pushed him up against the cage, always trying to get him down. And while there, Grove unloaded bunches of knees. He got the decision in the end. Sad. But at least Evan Tanner didn't get knocked out this time. That's an improvement. But from where he was before he took that long break from fighting, he's really dropped off. And it's sad. But hopefully Grove can bounce back from this and use this momentum to go upward again. The contract, CB Dalloway versus Amir Sadala. Great match. CB dominated just like before. Put Amir down on the ground. Everything was going his way. I didn't like it. I was mad. Amir was getting the crap beat out of him. Just like the first time. I thought, oh, that sucks. Then something weird happened. CB kind of rolled Amir up, where Amir's legs were up, against his torso almost, just up there flailing around, and he punched him. And I thought, that's kind of stupid, because that's perfect armbar position. And sure enough, Amir grabbed that arm, pulled it out, and CB tapped. Now, he tapped once, and here's where a lot of people are getting mad, because he tapped once. But the thing is, Herb Dean has seen people with broken arms before from arm bars. If it was a choke, he would have probably, waited for three taps, or to see if CB had passed out. But he tapped once, and that was all it took for Herb Dean to stop this fight, because a broken arm, not everyone can come back from that. Awesome match. Amir wins. Amir's your ultimate fighter. Couldn't be happier. And hopefully we'll see CB again. He's a good fighter. I was a little rough on him on my last thing. He's a little cocky. I don't like that. Amir is so humble, and you just can't help but like him. He just has tons of heart. while CB, he's kind of cocky, but he did a blog for MMA Junkie, and it was a real good blog, and he left a lot of that, cockiness and entitlement at the door, and just wrote about his experience on the show, and that was what I wanted to hear. But Amir wins. Amir is your Ultimate Fighter champion for season 7, and I'm happy.